Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today, riding home on my way from work. And what in the world happened in the world of wrestling today while I was at work? Major announcement: New Orleans is not going to be hosting WrestleMania. This is a big bit of news because when WWE comes out and basically says this is where we're going for WrestleMania, whether if it is Las Vegas, Santa Clara, Miami, normally it is that city making a pitch to pay WWE a huge amount of money, as well as finding a way to work a deal for the major stadium to give a discount, if not even like give WWE the rights to use to bring tax dollars as well as regular dollars, because when they say, hey, WWE is coming to Las Vegas, we are going to fill up the casinos, we are going to fill up the hotels, we are going to buy food in restaurants, we're going to go to the stores. There is a huge amount of revenue that comes into WrestleMania coming to town. And I don't know what we were going to call the trip to New Orleans. If it was going to be Click Orleans, Click New Orleans, Click Rerun 30, Click Bourbon. It is off. We never even got a chance to book a hotel. We were supposed to have a call. We didn't have a date. Basically said for it, but I was going to book the Drury, and then I found out because of the announcement that was made that WWE was going to be running WrestleMania at New Orleans, and then it being made so early that it was more than a year in advance. You couldn't book a hotel. Basically we had to wait for the calendar to turn, and New Orleans knew that the marks were coming, and they made plans. They raised the rates. The Drury was going to be over $300 a night, but we knew that there was a chance that it could fill up, and we didn't want to wait and hope that it was the WrestleCon hotel, where we used their code to get a room on their block cheaper. We wanted to book it, and then we found out that if you wanted to book anything in New Orleans connected to one of the days that WrestleMania was going to be running, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think almost every hotel that I looked at in the French Quarter was going to make sure that you paid up front and that your deposit was 100% non-refundable. So for the people out there that book ahead, whether if they get on the Reddit group, I know that when I got ready to go to WrestleMania, I believe the subreddit that I was looking at was called WrestleMania Plans. Go on there, join that group. They are very smart, very knowledgeable people that have been going to WrestleMania for years. There are a lot of people that you can help that ask questions. There are things that pop up for Money in the Bank, Survivor Series. It's not just WrestleMania tips. It's tips for anything WWE. I know a lot of people have made friends in there. They have traded tickets. There's a lot of help that goes down. Make sure you join that subreddit. I'm not the biggest Reddit guy. I'm trying. I know that I'm 10 years behind, but it's a damn good place. I would highly recommend it after my WrestleMania trip turned out so well for me. But WrestleMania not going to New Orleans. As of right now, there are no plans on where they are going. They are not making an announcement. The first thing that I was reading is that some people really think it's going to go international for the first time. Some people are thinking Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is already getting a Royal Rumble. So, hey, calm it down. And there's a lot of people who are wrestling fans that are really not that excited about them going there. But Saudi Arabia already has a deal for or 2 international shows a year that they pay a lot of money for. I don't think WWE cares where the money comes from, if it's fans, if it's non-fans, if it's people from Saudi Arabia, who I think that honestly a lot of the people in Saudi Arabia, they're good people that get a bad rap. Because I think of the people that run the government there, and a lot of, like, I guess, old customs that they have there, they get a lot of bad raps. I think the people that are there are wrestling fans, and, hey, calm it down. Like, it is what it is. But I know people that have said they're not even going to watch the Royal Rumble this year because it's in Saudi Arabia. That is bananas land. But everybody has their own right to do whatever they want to do. And if you don't want to watch the Rumble, you don't want to watch the Rumble. But I guarantee you, you're going to be peeking. You're going to watch a little bit of the Rumble. There's no way you can skip the Rumble. The first thing that came to my mind was, London. They came over. They met with Nick Khan. They met with Triple H. They really wanted WrestleMania. Then there was some people who said, hey, they moved on from WrestleMania. They're trying to get a Super Bowl. Super Bowl is bigger. I thought of the people of Minnesota. Minnesota had that, like, government meeting where they said, like, hey, we got something to announce, but we've been told that we can't announce it till next week. And then that announcement never came. A lot of people thought that announcement was going to be WrestleMania was coming to town, and then it just went to Las Vegas. But I mean, from WrestleMania 33 to now, I've been hearing Minnesota almost every year. And for the people who think it's going to be cold, you don't really even go outside when you're in Minnesota. There's so many tunnels, there's so many, like, hallways that connect buildings together. You just basically have to get to, like, the Strip, and I think you're able to walk through, like, all the convention centers, all the hotels, the stadium. You're not standing outside in the snow or the sleet or the rain or anything like that. The people that have gone there for the Super Bowl, they didn't have the best of time in the world, but they've come back and basically said it was not as cold as they thought it was going to be, because you spend so much time inside. Another thing that came to my mind, Santa Clara, home of WrestleMania 31, going to be hosting the Super Bowl this year. Hopefully the Niners are going to be in that bad boy. They got a dang good team. But I always think that WrestleMania sure loves to follow the Super Bowl around places, and wouldn't be surprised if it could be Santa Clara. I saw a report as I was getting into my truck to drive home, because I was just trying to get up to date. I didn't want to make this video and say they didn't know where it was going when, like, boom, they just made an announcement. But there's people out there kind of reporting now that it's going to go back to Las Vegas. They haven't rerun the same place, like, bam, bam, since WrestleMania 4 to WrestleMania 5. Of course, that was in Trump Towers. No, I don't think it was called Trump Towers. Trump Plaza, I think is what that place was called, in New Jersey. They hosted WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania 5. Of course, New Orleans was such a big hit. It ran WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 34. But could Las Vegas be doing WrestleMania 41 and then boom, boom, WrestleMania 42? I don't want to really get excited for this. I went to WrestleMania this year. I said that it was going to be possibly my last one. Unless the boys want to jump on board and we get Miguel and we get Ravi, at least one of them. I don't know what I'm doing, but Las Vegas was very easy to get around from place to place. Even if you were going up the strip, down the strip, I didn't get to spend the time that I wanted to on Fremont Street. But hey, Las Vegas isn't that far from me. I know I haven't been there since 2002, but I can see it as a vacation destination. I found out it's not all about gambling. There's a lot of other things to do while you're there, and plus there's a lot of really good places to eat that would be highly enjoyable to go back. But I don't know. I mean, like Saudi Arabia, not going. Minnesota, I always gave them a pat on the back and was like, Minnesota would be a pretty fun place to go. WrestleMania, I would highly recommend if it was in Las Vegas for anybody that didn't go last year to go, and I know that they would have fun, and the stadium is big. There's definitely more than enough places to stay, and I think people would be able to give tips to do this, do that, avoid that, whatever it was, and listen to those people. I'm sure that you'll have a lot of fun. Santa Clara wasn't my favorite WrestleMania destination because I didn't get to leave the state. But we'll have to see where this story goes. There's a lot of people in the world that are kind of pointing that they think because The Rock made the announcement on SmackDown that it is his fault that it was in New Orleans, and because The Rock is nowhere to be seen and seems like there's going to be like some infighting in WWE about what The Rock wants to do, when The Rock wants to show up, that they're taking it away from New Orleans. I don't think that it is a Triple H thing. Triple H is the head of storylines, writing, creative. That's the word I'm looking for. I went blank right there. He's the head of creative. I think he does a lot of things in WWE, but I think it was a Nick Khan decision. It might even have been somebody else who signed the contract on New Orleans. The Rock could have been involved, but I don't think that overall it was his number one decision. I think that in my mind, the time period lines up is that he came to SmackDown to make the announcement that they were going to New Orleans because they were in New Orleans. But if he is not, lying on why he was in WWE at that time period, I think he also said that he was going to be at the Chamber that weekend or the next weekend. Yeah, because he didn't just do that on Friday, like, I want your soul. He gave Cody, like, a week to think about it, because Cody was on Raw talking about, like, what the hell does he mean? He wants my soul. So I think maybe that he got asked, like, hey, will you help sell some tickets for the Elimination Chamber in Toronto, which I didn't think they did need help. I thought I never heard news like, hey, they're not selling Toronto. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't connected. I haven't read The Observer in a long time. Maybe they didn't have it, and maybe the people showed up because the place looked full, because The Rock was going to be there. So I don't think, unless people are turning on The Rock for not being involved and thinking that he was going to be around for WrestleMania and he wasn't there, I don't think it's a Rock versus anybody ordeal. I think that he just was the guy who made the announcement because he wanted to be the babyface of the year, which, I don't know, the whole thing with Bad Blood, Elimination Chamber, not being at WrestleMania, it doesn't make any sense to me. But for the people of New Orleans, they are not going to be without. They are going to be getting Money in the Bank 2026, not this year, that's in Los Angeles, but next year. I'm guessing that they could build around that, so it's not just like they're losing a whole week of entertainment. I know that like indie shows won't come, WrestleCon won't come, so they are missing out on that. But when it comes to WWE, I wouldn't be surprised if NXT is there. NXT runs a special show. You have SmackDown, you have Raw. You're not going to have 2 nights of Money in the Bank. They're not going to split that into 2 nights, so you're not going to be able to fill up the Superdome. And I don't even think they'll use the Superdome. I bet they'll use the Smoothie King Arena, and I apologize if they don't sponsor the arena anymore and it's no longer Smoothie King and it's something else, but that's when it was when I was there for WrestleMania 30. I don't think that it's going to be a major travel event, so I don't think they're going to fill up all of the hotels. I definitely think that the people that do go to New Orleans will travel there, stay there, go to Bourbon Street, do this, that, and the other. But I think it is going to be a mainly Louisiana, New Orleans crowd. It's not going to be a destination pay-per-view, but I've said for years, I saw a Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 26. Jack Swagger won it, but I haven't seen a Money in the Bank since it became its own show. I would love to see a Money in the Bank match again. I think it's one of my favorite ones of the year. So we'll have to see how that works out, but good times. I feel bad for New Orleans. I know there's probably people who live there or people that wanted to travel there that aren't going to be able to, but I'm sure it'll come back sooner than later. Peace out. Oh, she hit it. Oh, we dabbing.